The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for the Diagnostic Trading Hour with your host, Darrell Martin. Now, Darrell Martin.
All right, folks, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And I'm your host, Darrell Martin, right here on TFNN. Listen to us on your phone anywhere in the world at tfnn.mobi, or listen to us right on your computer and watch the trader screens at tfnn.com on Tiger TV. So let's check it out where we're at right now. We got the S&P is down 5.75 points. We got the Russell down 6.3. We have the NASDAQ down 5.75 as well, and the Dow is down 40. Looking on across the board, that we got looking at the energy sector, oil is currently up 12 cents on the day. Natural gas is down over 2.5%. Corn is currently down 3 points, with soybeans down 15. Moving pretty big right there in the ags. Got euro dollar down 26 pips. We got Aussie dollar down 58. Pound dollar's down 33, with U.S. CAD down 8. Dollar franc is up 22. And then looking on over at your yen, it's down 60, with pound yen down $1.19 and dollar yen down 41 pips on the day. Looking now at gold, what we can see is gold is currently up 7 points on the day. Silver is up 0.104, which is about 0.5%. Same, pretty much the exact same as gold on percent move. And then looking over at copper, copper is currently up 0.0025, which is basically flat for copper. And that gets us caught up on the day. Let's go ahead and check out where we're at on what's happening in the world with the news. Well, Bank of Japan Governor Kurado had a little speech this morning at 12:16, and he spoke at the Research Institute in Japan, so causing a nice little bit of, a decent little amount of yen volatility. We had the pending home sales this morning came in. They actually came in at negative 0.4%. So, which is less negative than expected. They did come in at 6.7% last time they came out. So this was definitely a drop from the last report, but better than expectations. Tonight we're going to have building approvals in Australia, as well as the RBA governor speaking. Don't really have any stats on that. It's not a consistently either one of those. Obviously, speeches aren't consistent anyway, but the building approvals, not really consistent impact on the Aussie, but at least will add volatility for you nighttime traders out there. And let's see what else we got. Okay, let's roll on over to tomorrow. And we're going to have just some minor impact things across the board. Nothing just major at all. We got CB consumer confidence. Again, expect a little volatility on that coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern time there. But beyond that, nothing major. And then the party gets started on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, we're going to have the ADP non-farm employment change report come out at 8:15 in the morning. And we're also going to have, at 8:30, we're going to have the GDP for Canada and the advanced GDP for the U.S. dollar. So we'll be looking for some nice, solid USD CAD movements on that. Some good new straddles and strangles you can check out over on the Nadex platform. Now, if you don't already have access to the Nadex platform, hop on over to tfnn.com. Okay? And click right here on the Nadex banner. Once you click on the Nadex banner, then what you'll be able to do is go in, and under trading, you'll see an account that says demo account. Click on that and fill in your username that you want, first name, last name, phone number, and email address. They will then email you your password, and you'll be able to immediately log in to your account. Also, you can go over and you can click create an account, and you can get an account funded and started within as little as 5 minutes. So Nadex is a binary and spread exchange, offering binary and spread contracts that follow futures and forex markets, giving you defined risk and massive leverage. They are a registered exchange, regulated by the CFTC, and it only takes $100 to fund an account, and you can actually place trades with that little amount in your account. You'll probably want to do more once you're ready to go, but you can actually start with as little as $100. There's no day trading restrictions like on stocks. You don't have 25 grand in there. You don't have to worry about margin calls like on forex and futures and non-cash margin like Reg T or anything like that stocks and naked options, things like that. You don't have to worry about that because all trades are fully collateralized and completely capped in their risk. So you'll never have to fear a margin call. The fees also are only 90 cents a contract per side, and then it caps at $9. So if you do 10 contracts, it's $9. If you do 100 contracts on one order, it's $9. So very capped right there. And the cool thing is you can go in and you can do straddle. If you know options, think of this as options for day traders. Okay, I mean, it's the ultimate options. You're getting that massive delta. You're getting, because that gamma gets pushed right to the edge immediately. There really is no theta. There's 1 day till expiration. Okay, so your theta is any premium that's in there. And you can also go in and take advantage. You don't have to worry about interest rates. You don't have to worry about row. And Vega is very minimal in its impact because, again, there's only 1 day. So Vega actually has the larger impact the further out you are until expiration. Anyways, it's a very, very cool way to trade. And one of the advantages is you can go in and you can do straddles or strangles. And what that means is that you can go in and you can basically go both directions on a market. And since the risk is capped, this is why it works, okay? Since the risk is capped, then let's say you're risking $20 on the downside and $20 on the upside. Well, if it starts going down and the one that you sold, the one that you're short, is making money, well, the one that you bought can only lose a maximum of $20. So it stops losing, but the one you sold, it keeps going down, can keep profiting. So, sort of like doing, buying a call and a put at the same time would be a similar, comparison for you. And I'm doing a straddle. But the cool thing is you can do them on contracts that expire like in 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours or in 23 hours. And by being able to do that, then you're able to get just a massive effect on your move. Because, like I said, your delta goes through the roof on the trade. And to help you out with this, I've made some tools that I personally like to use that you can get access to over in our site there. At TFNN, you get access to the spread scanner. And it actually does all the math, all this hard math for you. And so if you want to go in and pull up a trade and go, you know what, I think I want to buy and sell, this contract or that contract, whatever, what it'll do is it'll pull up all of the data, literally directly from the Nadex exchange right into our server, displays it on here, does all the math for you. So instead of you having to go through the platform and look step by step through every single contract, you're able to go in and quickly and easily filter them down. And so if you want to go in and you want to trade, the S&P 500, then you could do that. And you go, I don't want to risk more than $100. I want at least a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And let's see, there we go. And then now you can see all these straddles. See, so this is your P&L. This is if the price moves down, if the price moves up. And then you can select different contracts. So you could, select this contract right here and this contract right here. And you can see, nice large straddle there with a lot of profit potential built into it. And it's just one of my favorite ways to trade. And it's a very, very cool way to trade, especially once you get the hang of it. And like I said, they do give you that demo account. And if you want to know how to get that demo account extended, just email me, and I'll let you know how to get that extended. They'll give you basically some free time with like $25,000 of funny money you can play with, but you can get it extended a lot further than a couple weeks. So anyways, just let me know. I'll be glad to help you. Right over here, we got a binary scanner as well. And on the binary scanner, this is a little bit different contract. All the contracts have a value of at most $100. Now you can do 100 of them, 200 of them, how many ever you want. You can do 1, 10, 20, 50, 100. But the risk is capped, and you can use them sort of like for a premium collection. And a binary is a very simple true or false statement. Okay? So like I said, it's very simple, just a true or false statement. And you can go in and you can look at different markets, and you can basically try to decide, hey, is there a good trade there for me that I can take advantage of? And what you're doing is you're saying that this statement is true or false. If you buy it, you're saying true. If you sell it, you're saying false. Okay? So true what? Well, gold will be greater than 1330 at 1:30 p.m. Or gold will be less than or equal to 1330 at 1:30 p.m. Because if you're saying that statement's false, you're saying less than or equal to. So you simply go in, you look at the trend, and you try to see if there is a distinguishable good trade that you can take advantage of. And to help out with this, watch this. If we reset the filters, we have all these contracts we're trying to dig through, okay? But if I want to make it simpler, I just go up here, and I go, well, I don't want to have to wait hours to see if it's going to do it. I want to do it in the next 15 minutes. They have 21 of these expirations a day, okay? And then I'll say, well, I want to do premium collection, which means I want gold to be able to stay flat or move in a specific direction or move a little bit against me and still be profitable. I like those odds, right? 3 out of 4 scenarios. So I can go in and put that in, and it'll actually narrow it down to all the contracts that actually meet those requirements. And like right now, I mean, this one's really close, and the market's more trending up than anything. But there's one right here that has there was like a 15, 430 or whatever that we could go in and do. And now you can flip it around. You could also say 5 to 30. And the only reason I'm bringing up gold right now specifically is because it's going to expire here in a few minutes. And so if you thought gold was potentially going to drop back down to 1327, then you could go in and you could take advantage of it by doing very simple adjustment on the trade right there. And what that would mean is that you think that if it does do that, then you have a very high profit potential. And so let me explain what the profit potential is, since we don't really have a great trade setting up at the moment yet. And the profit potential, if you're buying, the quote is the profit potential. If you're buying, the quote is the risk. If you're buying, the quote is the risk. So if the quote is $10 to buy, then I'm risking 10, I can make 90, because every binary is worth $100. Makes sense? Okay. If I'm selling on it, then the quote is, and what I'll do is I'll open them up here. We'll see a whole bunch of them. If I'm selling, the quote is my profit potential on my trade. So I can go in here and I can see, here are the potential trades. So if I thought it was going to drop down to 1327 in the next, this is a really short period of time. I probably wouldn't do this trade. I don't really like these out of the monies. But if I thought it was going to drop down to 1327 in the next 11 minutes, and notice how this thing is counting down for you, then I could sell this for $93. I'd make $93 and my risk would be $7. So that risk reward is outstanding. But, I mean, again, we only have 11 minutes for it to move and close at or below, because remember, false means at or below. If true means greater than. We got the greater than symbol. So false means at or below 1327. So, if I put that trade on, then I'm sort of basically saying I think it's going to drop that far. That would be, 2.5 point drop, which is completely plausible and possible. It's something that I could do. But that's what I'd be expecting, what I'd be counting on if that happens. Now, I could also just close it if it got to it, if I thought it was actually going to be able to drop all the way down to 1327. Just looking at charts, I don't really see that as a high probability at the moment. But, that is there. It's something you can look at. Now, the other trade I could do is I could say, I think it'll stay below 1330. Okay? So if I say that, if I go in and choose, if I sell, I'm saying it'll be equal to or less than 1330 at 1:30 p.m. And if I'm correct on that trade, then I'll be profitable as well. All right, stay right there, folks. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rose, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Darrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzamento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Darrell takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
All right, folks, we'll come on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. So we got a little trade on right now that we're looking at. The one I was calling out there, we had that greater than 1330 binary that we sold, which means we said it would be less than, gold to be less than 1330 at 130. And so we put the trade in. You should have been able to get filled somewhere around $20, $15 to $25 on that trade. And so as long as gold, as long as gold will stay below 1330, so just here's a chart to show you. Right there. So we go in and zoom in on that. So as long as it will stay below 1330, which is up here, so it's a pretty good line. I like that line quite a bit. Then we have a solid trade. Now, if gold were to hit 1330 before expiration, you would just want to get out of the trade. Okay? So why? Well, because you can get out of the trade for about $50. So let's say you sold it for 20, you can buy it back for, we'll just say 50. Okay? You lost $30. Yeah, I know there's a $20 profit, $30 loss, but this is a very high probability trade because the market could go down, stay flat, go against you, can still be profitable. Okay? The reason you want to hold on to it is because if it went on up, you could lose like $80. And then now you got to have like 4 additional profitable trades just to break even. And that's what you don't want to have happen. Okay? But let's see here. So we got that one, and so that trade's doing pretty well right there. Again, make sure you keep an eye on that. And what you'll do is, what I do is, like when I have a trade on, I'll go in, and let's say I have this ticket ready and open right here, okay? I'll then click on the buy price. I'll change it back to a buy. Now I have 10 contracts on there. And I'll go in and I'll put it to buy it back at like 60, above where I think it'll be if it hits 1330, because it's at this price or better trade. Okay? So if it gets up there, if gold gets up and hits that price, I'm ready, my ticket's open, I don't have to think about it, I can just click it, and I'll be done with the trade. So, you know, that's not a bad trade to do that, to be ready for that. It's prudent. You need to be ready to have your ticket up, because, I mean, if it goes up there and hits it and just keeps flying and you're not ready, you may be scrambling and the thing moves way past it before you even got there, okay? So you want to be a step ahead. You want to be ready for that next step. You want to be watching that. And so I just like to walk through examples of that. It's one of my favorite trades. You can trade it, even if you have very, very little time to trade it. And some of the things that I look at is I'm looking at, you know, time and sells, how is it ticking. I'm looking at the depth of market to see if there's any significant price orders that may help it stay, you know, in between that range. So that helps out a little bit. I'll look at market noise to see if I see anything on market noise that alerts me. And, you know, if there is, then I'll just get out of the trade. You know, it's just not worth it. You're not going for just a fortune here. You're going for consistency. And if it goes on up, like I said, just hop out. It's not that painful to take. It's so funny I say this, but it's not that painful to take a losing trade if you'll take your correct loss. And the painful part is when you don't take the correct loss, you let it keep going, and then it nails you. And that it just does not feel so good. Now, another thing you can do is you can have like a take profit order set. You can say, hey, I'd like to get out of this trade. Okay? If I can get in and I can get out of this trade, I might get out of it and take my profit early. Okay, that is a potential choice. You could go in and say, you know what, I'll buy, you know, I'll sell at 20, I'll buy back at 5. Why would I be willing to do that? Well, I mean, if you'd be willing to sell at 15 and hold it to expiration, why not be willing to sell it at 20 and buy back at 5, right? So, I mean, that's just, that trade makes just as much sense. And so anyways, just to, you know, give you some ideas, start opening up your thoughts, look at these. Like I said, there's 21 expirations on Nadex a day. And the biggest key, not only, like in all trading, is just managing your risk. And I have trades, obviously, that win. I have trades that lose, just like every other trader on the planet. But the thing that's going to make the difference in your long-term ability to be profitable is to go in and just manage your risk. Not over leveraging your account, getting out of your trades when they go against you, not thinking twice about that move. Just different things like that you need to be willing to do. And if it's up there and you don't like the price, I mean, you hop out, you bail. If it's too close, if you don't like the fact that this thing is only 3 ticks away from the price, 3 minutes before expiration, you bail on the trade. You get out of the trade. Okay? That's not a bad trade to do, to bail whenever it doesn't look like it's going to work out for you, especially if you can get out for about the same price you got in for. All right, stay right there, folks. We'll be right back after this break.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. With the stock market flirting with all-time highs and volatility back, now is the perfect time for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights. On Monday, June 24th, Tom O'Brien closed out all 5 open positions in his daily newsletter, Market Insights, with all trades being profitable and ranging from a 2.23% gain all the way to more than an 11% gain in just one position for an incredible 32.7% profit combined between the 5 trades. Let Tom O'Brien's years of market experience work for you. If you'd like to see for yourself what kind of trading newsletter Tom O'Brien delivers to his clients each morning, then now is a perfect time to sign up for a 2-week free trial to his daily newsletter, Market Insights. In a volatile market like we currently have, the potential for fast market moves like we've seen recently is a trader's dream. So don't wait any longer. Sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today at the front page of TFNN.com. With over 3 decades of commodity trading experience, Andy Hecht has developed a system that combines both technicals and fundamentals. He calls this approach Technomental, and now you can put it to work for yourself with his brand new service, the Technomental Commodity Report. In this weekly newsletter, which comes out each Thursday morning, Andy gives you his analysis of the market price direction bias using fundamentals, and then specific trade recommendations including entry and exit points using technicals. The recommendations in the newsletter are always based on stocks and ETFs, so a futures account is not required, and Andy will often use options in the recommendations as well. Andy will tell you where to get in, where to get out, and he'll outline the risk-reward profile for all recommendations. To get your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht while locking in the low introductory rate, visit the front page of TFNN.com today. Darrell Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Darrell Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, folks, come on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And so we just had that gold trade there. We went and we sold the 1330, and it went ahead and expired in the money. So we were able to, I was able to pull in $170 on that trade. Not too shabby for, 10 minutes of work, right? And now that could easily be $17. It could be $170. It could be $1,700. Depending upon what volume you wanted to do on the contract. And so with that, we'll go ahead and set that up right there, and then we'll go through the rest of the news for the week. But since it expired below it, we were able to be profitable. And like I said, you can do these trades like all throughout the day, the night. I mean, they're really around the clock, and they don't take a lot of time. You just got to stop and remember to do them. But they're definitely there for you to take advantage of, and you need to demo trade it. Okay, so you need to demo trade it because you got to get it down, and you got to get used to it and the little intricacies, and you got to learn how to get in, how to get out. And what I'm doing is I'm basically looking at the trend direction and where's the short-term trend moving, what direction is it moving in, and once I determine that, then I make sure that there is, actually first I see is there a binary available, so I use the scanner for that. Once I see that there is one available, I go, is the market trending that direction, yes or no? If no, then I don't care. I can leave it up and see if one does become available. If one is or does become available, then I look and go, what is the distance, is that acceptable? Ideally, I like at least 5 at a minimum, and I prefer 10 ticks away. So if I think it's trending down, I'd like to buy it at least 10 ticks higher than where the market is. Now, if it's some markets that 10 ticks may be a little bit different, maybe like 10 Nadex ticks. So you may have to settle on, say, 4 or 5 ticks on the S&P. But really, I like to get a solid, if I can, at least 5 ticks, underlying market ticks, ideally 10 underlying market ticks. If I can get that, then that is a awesome, sweet trade. And but anything less than that, and you're just pushing it. You're just asking to get hit. And so I like to give a little bit of room to let the market oscillate by a few ticks up and down and it not affect me. And they're pretty cool. And so I'll go on here and okay, well, gold and silver, they're closed down for the day. Now you just have the Friday binaries up there. And so I can go whenever I can start rolling into 2 o'clock contracts and 2:15 contracts and 2:30 contracts and look at them as they come up and take on different ones. And so you can literally knock out several within a period of a couple hours. You could have let's see, you could have 1s and 125, 130, 2, 215, 230, 3. So really just in a couple hours you have a handful of expirations you could take advantage of. If there's any trades right in that area, then awesome. So the next step is we'll go in, let's check out what news we got. I'll get some stuff ready for the 2 o'clocks here so you sort of see how to set that up. And we'll go and grab all the indices. And now what you can check out is we have 22 minutes left till expiration, but when we get in that 15-minute zone, they'll all pop up, and here's what will happen. Like if I take this right here from 15 to 30, then what you'll see is all of a sudden you'll see everything appear that qualifies for the requirements that we put on the trade. All right, like I said, this is a big week on news. We got the ADP non-farm employment change at 8:15. We're going to have the GDP for Canada and the advanced GDP for the United States happening at the same time at 8:30 in the morning on Wednesday. These are the trades where I love to go in, and I love to do straddles and strangles. And then, of course, we got the FOMC statement coming up at 2 o'clock on that same day. So, I mean, we're talking like 4 awesome high-impact reports, ADP non-farm payroll, 2 GDPs on 2 different currencies, so obviously trade dollar CAD, and we're going to go into the FOMC statement at 2. So there's a lot of cool ways to trade that. We'll talk a little bit about that more tomorrow and in even more detail on Wednesday to see, tomorrow to get the plan for the morning, and then on Wednesday to talk about different ways to do the FOMC. Going on over to Thursday, we're going to have the manufacturing PMI. That is going to be a little bit stunted because everybody's going to be waiting for a couple hours on the bank rate to come out. Okay? So Britain, basically their interest rate, their FOMC rate, So it's coming out at 7 a.m., which is they'll have an asset purchase facility, then the official bank rate, and then pretty much at the same time, they usually release the rate statement. And as they're going to be pouring over that, well, that'll have a big boom, move, all that. It'll rock the pound. And then 45 minutes later, we're going to have the interest rate come out on the euro, which, be aware, that's usually not a big mover, okay? Unless it's a change that people don't expect. Like if they get from 0.5 to 0.25. That would be a move that people would not expect. That would cause a major move. If it's 0.5, then you're really not going to see much movement at all until the press conference at 8:30. And that is when you really start seeing, the currencies moving around as well. So you'll get a big currency move there right there on 8:30. And again, we couldn't trade this last time because it happened on July 4th. So you're able on the Nadex exchange. And so unemployment claims, and then so of course you got unemployment claims coming out at the same time as the ECB press conference. Unemployment claims have not been just a major driver lately. They sort of fluctuate in and out. They have, I guess you could almost say, seasons based on what comes out of our FOMC statement. And then we got the ISM manufacturing PMI coming out on Thursday. So that's usually a pretty decent impact report, but with everything else that's happening that day, it's going to be overridden unless it's just majorly different. Also that night we'll have the PPI over on the Aussie, so I'll be looking and pulling up the stats on that one. On Friday, we're going to have the construction PMI coming out of Britain, sort of the last big European announcement for the week there. And then at 8:30, we're going to have 6 announcements coming out of the United States. We're going to have the non-farm employment change, NFP, so that's the big one, okay? We're going to have unemployment rate, obviously, very important. We're going to have average hourly earnings. We're going to have core PCE price index. We're going to have personal spending. And we're going to have personal income. All these reports coming out at 8:30. Think the market might move a little bit. Obviously, that really would be the expectation. And that's why, when we're looking at this, this is why I love the news trades, okay, and why I love the premium collection trades. There's a lot of trades I like on Nadex, but premium collection, I know I'm spending like 10 or 15 minutes, and I know exactly when I'm doing it, and I know exactly what I'm doing it on. News, I know exactly when I'm doing it. I know exactly what I'm doing it on. It doesn't take a lot of time. I sit down. I go, okay, I'm going to place this on pound dollar. When? At this time. For this expiration. I put my trade on. I set back. I don't have to do anything. There's nothing to do until the announcement comes out. The announcement comes out. I watch and see, did it deviate much? Was there like a fundamental shock? Was there a surprise in the market? And, how far did it move? Because it might hit I've had them hit my profit target in like seconds. Okay? Or maybe there was a fundamental shock, but it's taking a little time, or maybe there was just no change. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I just need to get out of this trade at break even. So if I risk $10 on one side and risk $10 on the other side, then I need to make $10 on either side. That'll cover the other side's risk, and I'll be done. And I'll just change my orders and then walk away because there's nothing else to do. So it doesn't take a lot of time. You just need the right stats. You need the right information in place so you can effectively trade these strategies. But like I said, they're very cool because you can really schedule your trading. You can go, I'm going to trade at this time, this time, and this time. I'm going to trade this, this, and this. And it's defined on what it is, how much you're going for, and how long you're going to be sitting there. So, I know every day I hop on and I look at gold and silver, just during this hour, this radio show hour, because, I know I'm going to be right here. I know I'm talking about Nadex. I know I can pull it up and I can explain it to y'all. Y'all get to benefit from it. I get to benefit from it. And I get to schedule that every day. That's what I do right around, 1:15 or so as I look at gold and silver and see if there's any trades. And so it's you can really start putting some scheduled trades into your thing. A lot of times people come in and they're like, I just don't have all day to sit there and watch the market. And, or you don't have to. That's the whole beauty of trading on Nadex. And one is you have that defined risk. And the other thing is, you can do things like this that are, expiration time driven or news time driven or whatever. So you can schedule that. And, I'll put on trades. I'll put on trades where I remember one trade I was going out and we were actually doing a conference. Me and Tommy were doing a conference and teaching about Nadex and putting everything together. And before I got on the plane, I looked at the Dow. It had just flown up. And I was looking at volume. I was looking at deviation levels, everything. I'm like, this thing's at a maximum expansion point. It's not going further up. I shorted the market. Something I'd never do. I shorted the market and I walked onto a plane. Okay? Without the ability to edit anything. Because I had defined risk. I knew what my risk was, and I knew, hey, if it just did this, I would be profitable. I put my take profit order in as soon as I went short, walked on the plane, and didn't worry about it. Because I can't get margin called. My account can't get blown out. I don't have to stress out about it. I get off the plane. Fortunately, on that trade, it worked out really well. If it wouldn't have killed me. Okay? And, it paid for dinner that night, right? So, I don't know. It's just a very cool way to trade. You can trade and walk away because your risk is defined. You can't do that on futures. I guess you can, but... I want to think, I personally, my personality, and every trader has their own style, their own personality. But, I can't hold futures positions overnight and over the weekend. I'll be watching that chart every 5 seconds, and I have to be flat every day. And that's just how I like to trade. So, I love Nadex because it's basically built around that. Some traders are like, well, I don't want to have to spend, I don't know why. Some people, if you're going to trade for a long period of time, it needs to be because you're really going for massively larger moves and you're able to do it consistently, in my opinion. That'd be the reason to do that. So, or you just don't have the time to sit there during the day. But again, we just talked about that. You can sit down for 15 minutes before 7 o'clock and do this, what we just talked about it, in the night. You can do it at 10:45 to 11 o'clock at night. You can do it when, Aussie news announcements come out in the evening. You can do it in the morning before you go to work. You can do it during your lunch hour. So, there are a lot of trades like this constantly on Nadex, so you don't even have to have a lot of time. And one of the things I like, and stocks are, they're great. There's a lot of benefits. You get to get into the fundamentals, dig into the company, see if it's a good company. There's a lot more information on them in that sense. But also, there's so many choices, and I don't like having that many choices. So, if I'm going to have that many choices, I want it to be options, not instruments. And so with this, I'm limited to how many I'm going to monitor. I got 8 currencies, and, I got the 2 ags, the 3 metals, the 2 energies, and I got the 7 indices. That's really all I need to look at. I don't really have to look at anything else. And, if they add more instruments, I'll be glad to add them on. But then I don't like choices, right? I just talked about that. Well, that's why I made the scanner. Because if I don't have the scanner, then these are all the choices. And that's just insanely overwhelming. I mean, we're not even like 10% down the page, and this is just ones that expire at 2 o'clock. You know, I mean, just massive amounts. And so I go up here, and I got to scroll this thing all the way back up and go, okay, narrow this thing down for me to what expires here in the next, 15 to 30 minutes. And now give me the 65s to 95s. And then, there we go. Okay, that I'm a lot more comfortable with. Now I just have maybe 1 or 2 choices per market, and I can look and see which ones look like the best choices to me to be able to find my trades. So it really helps me just zone in and focus on what to trade. All right, so let's see what we have here, see if we have anything we might be able to do here in the last, 10 or 15 minutes. And let's see, looking at the Dow. The Dow right now is at, 15,446. Is that right? Yeah, 15,445, 15,446. So we got a 453. I mean, it is sort of trending down, so that's a potential right there. Let's see. I'll open that one up. What I'll do too, by the way, is I open it up, and then I'll have the ticket that I'll just sort of keep. Okay, up here on the side. And so I'll look at that one. That probably get on that one for around $15. That looks like a pretty acceptable trade that I could do. And let's see. So take one. And again, that was the 15,453 trade. Okay. And let's see if there's anything else that we like that we might be able to take advantage of. We'll look over here and go, there's a small cap. Okay, can we do a small cap trade? So on the small cap, we're going to have the Russell. The Russell's at 1038.9. There is a 1040, but it's like $8. So there's really just not a whole lot of profit potential in that. I'll open it in case maybe it gets a little spike in volatility for me for a second there, and maybe I can grab it. Okay? But we got that Wall Street 30, that 14,453 on. That one's good to go. So it's already down to like $9, $10 right now, but it could fluctuate easily. So that's pretty much our indice trades. We could look at the S&P. I will tell you, one thing I've learned is to not try to go both directions on the indices at the same time when I do these trades. I really don't try to butterfly them. And you may have heard me talk about butterflies before. It's basically where you do 2 of these at the same time, one above the market, one below. You really want to have some sort of bias when you're doing these. And so right now our bias is by looking at the markets, bias at least for the next 10 minutes is to the downside. So we'll probably go ahead and pass on the S&P trade. There's U.S. Tech to also buy. So that's at 30.59. So unless I see that I really want that, and that one's still pretty close. So unless I see I really want that, but I can open it up, and if I see the trend change, okay, if I see the trend changing, going the other direction, I can always change that up. But we're going to open up a few of these and just see what mix we can put together. And, okay, now we do have a short US 500, but where is it at? 1680, and we're like, see, we're only like 3 ticks away. Remember what I was talking about? Like, I don't like them when they're too close because there's just too much risk in there. All right, stay right there. We'll be right back after this break.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this prospectus and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page at TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments.
Join David White as he keeps you up to date on the latest tech stocks while he uses his Power Law Vector Indicator to identify the best trades. The Power Trading Hour, next on TFNN.
All right, folks, so here we go. We're looking at just different markets that we could do this strategy on. And looking at the pound yen, that's at 150.08. We got a 0.12. That's only 4 ticks, which, I mean, isn't even a sneeze for the pound yen. So I'd be pretty cautious on that one. Would not take anything for that. We're like 3-4 ticks away, so I would avoid that trade. These yen trades, you got to be really careful because a lot of times they look really good because the premium will be really high. And sometimes even the distance will be actually halfway acceptable, okay? But the problem you have is they are, how do I put this? They're so volatile. I mean, that's the bottom line is they're so volatile that they can just change in a heartbeat. So no matter how good they look, you got to be really, really careful on them, and you have to be willing, like, if you're going to trade them, you can get some good money, okay? You can get some really good money out of them, but you better be, I mean, ready in, like, a heartbeat to get out of the trade. And I'm starting to play with some different strategies on the yen pairs because of their volatility. And I'm starting to go, man, I wonder if I could start buying these things for like 10 and selling them for 20, you know, and different things like that. Because they're, like I said, they'll fly around so much that that could, you know, really be an actually halfway decent strategy. And you'll watch them, and I mean, they just look magnificent on the trades because you got a decent distance. A lot of times, you have a high reward potential inside the trade. But they're so volatile. And so due to their volatility, I get really nervous about doing the EPC trades on the yen pairs. And one of the things that I've learned is when something's not working, okay, when you're looking at something and you're like, I just don't think that would work that well, then it, as obvious as it sounds, well, what about the opposite? Okay? So, again, what about the opposite? If I want to do the opposite trade. And so you go in to do, say, the opposite trade, okay? And you put on just a really, you know, low-risk trade in the other direction. And so, like, instead of, you know, going in and, you know, selling it for 90, you buy it for 10. So that would be the idea, okay? And by doing that, if there is that last-minute volatility, then, you know, you're okay on the trade. And so I'll go up here, and you can flip this around. Like, do, you know, say $2 to, I don't know, $30, and you can just see what low risk trades may exist that are, you know, really close that you could, you know, like I said, do on these trades. And if they look good, then you can have, like I said, a really good trade, put the different pieces together, and sometimes you'll get them really close. And this is sort of going the other way, but it's, you can go in and get some of these really low risk comparison trades, okay? Like this trade right here. This is, you know, what the S&P at 1680. And it was there just a second ago. And 1680 for like $75. Well, the S&P's at 1680.25. So what's the probability it could drop a tick or two? Pretty high. Now it just went way up. It's got more risk on it now, so that's why we're not seeing it. I can reset the filters, go back down here to the S&P. I mean, I clicked that thing, and it was, like, gone the second I clicked it. But right here, yeah, see, now it's at 62, but it was at 75, so it's already made, like, $10 on the trade. And by putting that together, by going, you know what, that's a good, you know, it's really close. And sometimes I can get a really close trade on a really good risk-reward ratio. And if I can do that, then I found myself an excellent trade. So there's two really different ways to do these expiration trades. One is a really close binary with really low risk for a really high payout, but you are lowering your probability because it has to move. The other is some decent distance, a decent amount of time till expiration on a trade that you can also be profitable. And the trade we put on there on the Wall Street 30 is looking solid. All right, y'all have a great day, and I will catch you next time right here on the Diagnostic Trading Hour. Stay tuned.
That makes people come up, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.